I have been on every antidepressant known to man, it feels like. Multiple different anti-anxiety medications. I've been on some because they thought maybe I had bipolar depression. And so they had put me on some medication for that, and that was horrible. It didn't help. I gained weight. I think it was Jose that I talked to first. And he went above and beyond for me. I was so impressed. I couldn't even believe it, because I had called around so many places and they kind of just gave me the runaround and didn't really care, didn't really know what I was talking about, didn't give me the information that I needed to call my insurance company. And Jose went above and beyond, and there was communication over phone call, over text message, and giving me everything that I needed, and then some on top of that. It was phenomenal. So they started me out with ketamine, and I went through the whole process of going however many times a week for so many weeks and whatever, and I did all of that. And I still had the experience where you're kind of under and hallucinating, and it was great and it worked really well. And then I switched to Spravato because it was more cost effective and fit more within my budget. It can be scary, and I think the most important thing to remember that I've kind of talked to other people about that I know that's helped them is that when you're going through the treatment, I think number one, it's important to have some type of meditation before you're going into it, whether it's, you have a higher power that you talk to, or you're just focused on yourself and you're telling yourself, I can do this. Everything's gonna be okay. Because you get to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have any control. And it's important to remember that you can still talk to yourself during the treatment and during the process. And that helped me a lot with my anxiety, especially because it helped me remember that I can do this, I can get through this, and I have the ability to self-validate and self-soothe, which I don't feel like I had that beforehand. It just kind of felt like everything would spiral out of control and I had no control over my thoughts. And so it's like one little thing, especially when I had PTSD, I'd hear a siren and immediately would just spiral down and there was no stopping. And now it's kind of like I have control of it. You're in a safe environment. That's the other really important thing. And if at any point you get too scared or too nervous or whatever, you press the call button and someone will be there right away and they'll hold your hand and they'll tell you everything's okay, you're in a safe place, and that helps you even more. I'm a completely different person, and after what I'd been through, I wasn't listening to music, I wasn't reading, I love music. I grew up playing piano and guitar and singing, and I wasn't doing any of that at all. I had all my hobbies that I enjoyed, I wasn't doing them anymore. And then it was almost immediately after doing ketamine, I was listening to music in the car again. And I was able to drive. I couldn't drive because my PTSD was so bad. And yeah, I was able to live again and not feel like I was drowning. This is something where you get almost immediate relief and there's no side effects. It hasn't affected me negatively at all. It's been a really positive thing in my life, and it's gotten me back to who I used to be.